So, our boy Koga now knows the Niko style, or at least the redirection kata Weeping Willow. Personally, not a fan of this. I would have much preferred Koga stay completely away from the Niko style, even though he's been brought up as a character learning bits and pieces from everyone, which is expanded on a lot in this chapter. But just him having the Niko style as well, especially considering Garuki is meant to be the other protagonist of Kengan Omega with his Gar style, which is of course similar to Niko style. Koga even having a few moves is just, I don't know, I don't like it. But he does, so can't really say much about that. Of course, this is going to improve him by quite a bit, depending on what he learns specifically. But apart from that, we have the return of Carlos this chapter, with him being the commentator of Koga vs Silver, with us seeing that he's finally bulking up. At the end of the Purgatory vs Kengan tournament, we got a lot of insight from Carlos about how he's going to improve himself and how he's going to move away from his Kapura fighting style. And as we see here, he's trying to find a balance of power and speed, so he's not this super anorectic skinny dude solely focusing on speed. And we learned that during this process, Carlos's condition actually slipped quite a bit, and he actually got demoted to the B list of Purgatory, which is pretty bad if I'm being honest, considering the B lists we've seen so far aren't really all that. And Carlos was meant to be one of the higher tiers of the, Purgatory A list, and him dropping down to B list and having a close fight with the likes of Koga before this tournament or before the recent time skips is pretty bad on Carlos' side, but I am expecting him to be quite a monster in the new Kengan Annihilation tournament, which he will most likely enter and potentially lose round 1, but it really depends on how many fighters are in the new Annihilation tournament. He could be making it to the later rounds depending on who he fights, but I'm excited to see the new version of Carlos fight and seeing what he's truly capable of now. Before I continue, welcome to the Mysterious Weeb YouTube channel. I talk about fighting manga here. If you enjoy that type of stuff, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'll be greatly appreciated. And yeah, back to the video. After Koga's fight with Carlos in the Purgatory match, we learned that Koga actually asked Carlos for some training, and of course that occurred as well. So one more person added to the list of people who trained Koga. They most likely trained in striking, as Carlos is the striking specialist of Purgatory, most likely resulting in Koga's striking to improve quite a bit, probably more so in the skill aspect. We also know that Carlos is a master of pre-initiative. We know Koga got pre-initiative training from the likes of Lolong and Kanogito. Maybe that was expanded on by Carlos. It really depends on when they actually fought, and based on the fact that it was when Koga was part of Purgatory fighting Purgatory matches, his training with Carlos was most likely before Koga's training with the likes of Lolong and Kano. But yeah, Koga is just getting trained by everyone, including Oma, who of course has passed down the Niko style on the Koga, or at least the Weeping Willow. One of Oma's most used moves, as his redirection kata is pretty much his best kata, far surpassing his master even back in Kengan Ashura according to Kuroki. So of course Oma can easily teach the redirection kata, as that is his thing. The stuff we got about Leonardo Silva this chapter was pretty interesting, mainly the stuff regarding his family, which also connects to the Kure clan. Kure clan always being attached to these various clans, and once again a major reason why the Kure clan are so strong. They're connecting to everyone, the breeding they've done, and the development of all these martial arts and how they've pretty much stolen all this stuff connects even further now. But yeah, Leonardo Silva's flashback we got here in his introduction, few pages, were pretty cool, and I'm excited for his match against Koga, which starts out quite well this chapter. Koga is already stated to be going all out against him, so Silva is definitely one of the strongest supernovas, or he would have to be, considering he's the only other one that made it to the championships of the Berserker Ball. Koga's trying to keep him away in this initial exchange, landing this direct hit on Silva, which he pretty much tanks, so his durability is quite impressive as well. Reminding me a little bit of Nitoku, being willing to just tank blows to get in a good position. That seems to be the game plan for Silva during this match. Of course, as everyone's predicting, Koga will most likely win this match. He has so much going for him now, the fist eye, the Niko style, the pre-initiative training he's done, his kicks, Koga is turning into a monster ever so slowly. With all this stuff he could potentially use, which may cause a problem on the long road as Kanagito back in Ashura, due to his formless and knowing so many martial arts and so many moves, that would cause limitations. If Koga keeps getting all these new techniques, he may be delayed in what move he actually chooses to use, similar to how Kanagito was kind of delayed. Who knows, Koga is the MC, he may just be above anything like that. This fight will probably last 3 or 4 chapters. I think it's going to be a longer one considering Ryuto absolutely destroyed Myers. Once again, as I predicted. And then we have Roki vs Adam, which is once again going to be a pretty cool fight. Roki most likely winning. But that's everything for today's video. Stay tuned for a long character profile video which reveals some insane stuff. That will be out in like 1 or 2 days. Of course, shout out to the mad lads who support the channel via the Patreon. But that's pretty much everything, guys. Peace.